The politics in this country is as divided as it has ever been, with the different sides of the political spectrum at war with each other. Many people on each side believe that it's the other side's fault for the division and chaos going on in the world right now. But in reality, the entire country is at fault for our steep and continuous fall from prosperity as a nation. We could see the evil that has transpired over the last few years in this country. The world is walking further and further away from its creator each day. And as this is happening, the world is entering more and more chaos, division, and evil. We need to turn around, regardless of your political affiliation, and unite to bring the world back to the only thing that can save it. He is waiting with open arms to welcome you to enjoy the true peace, true prosperity, true joy, and true fulfillment that is in Him. It is time we turn from our wicked ways and turn our eyes back on Him. Regardless of how it might seem to be going in this world, we can trust and not fear that God knows what He is doing, and His plan is the best thing for us. This podcast aims to turn back our eyes on God's will for His nation and hear what His Word has to say about the different issues that face our nation today. Welcome to my new podcast, Going Against the Grain. I'm your host, Tyler Ridgewater, and this podcast is a political podcast where we'll be diving into the political world from a biblical perspective. So I'm just using this first episode to kind of introduce myself, since pretty much all y'all don't know who I am, but also talk about why I feel the need to make this podcast, what kind of drove me to make this podcast, and what I plan on doing with this, like who I plan on being on here and what I actually want to accomplish with this pod. But also just talking about the schedule of this podcast, how often I'm going to be posting, and all that good stuff. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Tyler Bridgewater, 20 years old, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yeah, a lot of y'all probably just hear Louisiana and just be like, Louisiana, it's hot. All I know is about the food. It's still a good place. Not famous, not big, but I like it. I like it here. Anyways, I grew up in a Christian household, so I knew about Jesus from a young age, a little bit about my faith. I attended a few small private schools in my pre-K, kindergarten, first grade years. Well, not really first grade, more so just like the end of kindergarten. Then I was homeschooled from first to sixth grade, and I'd say that experience was the best experience in regards to school because the freedom I had with it was, compared to public school, was like really good. We had more time to do different stuff, to find the different passions and stuff like that. And also just to sharpen your mind. It's extra time. In public school, it's a set curriculum, and then if you play sports, you have practice after that. It's not a lot of free time to find your passions and do things that you might love. So I felt like the homeschooling experience gave me the freedom to have more time to find the passions I have for outside of sports and school. So that was a little bit of my homeschooling. I went to Samuel Middle School and high school for my 7th through 12th grade, since I was only homeschooled from 1st to 6th. 7th through 8th, I was at Samuel Middle, and then 9th through 12th, I was at Samuel High. I played multiple sports throughout the years. So I played football, basketball, track, and soccer. I played football since I was 6, all the way till my freshman year of high school, where I quit to focus more on soccer. And I played basketball a while when I was young. I don't remember the specific ages, but I played basketball for a while. And then I played through middle school. And then in the summer before my freshman year of high school, I played on an AAU team. But I had to stop because the season conflicted with soccer, so I had to make a choice between those two. So I just chose soccer, obviously. But and then I did track through middle school, and then did for a year in high school. It was kind of more so not something I loved. It was more so a thing it turned into like a thing for fitness for soccer. So I kind of just wasn't all in on that anyway. But yeah, those were just the different sports I play. I was a multi-sport athlete, but the homeschooling years was very important because that's where I first discovered my love for politics. I found out one of my passions was for reading through my free time in homeschooling. So I would read biographies. That's how I started reading. Besides science fiction, I read biographies, and that I really loved those. And it started off with famous people biographies, and then that led to me reading biographies about presidents. And I read each one in order, actually. And my mom talks about it a lot, but I read each one of them in order. And through that, I developed a love for politics through this reading. And even one time, I remember how old I was, but I know it was during the homeschooling times. So I was pretty young. I told my mom I'll be governor of Louisiana one day. And that's still the goal I hope to achieve in the future. But, you know, whatever God wants for my life, I'll do it. But, well, that's governor. I would definitely love that. But, yeah, but God has been in my life since birth. Like I said, I grew up in a Christian household, but if I'm being honest, I didn't truly know who God was until a year or two ago. Like I knew of God, but I didn't really know Him. I just knew Him because I'm in a Christian household. That's just what we're taught and I'm being around. But I read the Bible. I didn't actually read it like to understand it, but I read it. I always thought that my belief in Jesus Christ was enough for salvation, but through the past few years, He has revealed to me the real importance of having a relationship with Him. And that's even through me living my life, just living it without even truly knowing Him. So now that I'm in a relationship with Him, I truly believe that He's put a calling into my life for politics. While I do believe that the calling is in politics, I don't really truly know what I'll be doing in politics or what exactly He wants me to do with politics, but I trust that the Lord is going to keep me on the right path and guide me as I'm going down the steps in life. And yeah, I just trust that He knows what He's doing with me with that, even though I don't truly know what I'm exactly doing. But yeah, I trust Him to do it because I know He knows what's best for my life and His plan is perfect. But now it goes into inspiration. I kind of wanted to make this podcast in order to share God using my love for politics and hopefully get more people's eyes on the Lord rather than trouble this world. Because especially with looking at what's going on in the political world right now, it's very easy to get fearful with the different things going on in the political world. Like, for example, stuff going on in Ukraine and then Russia again with China and like other stuff that's happening right now. It's very easy to get fearful on the troubles of this world and the issues going on right now in this world. But I just want to use this to put everyone's eyes back on the Lord and trust that God knows what He's doing even in the midst of this trouble. So I feel like this podcast is a good way to talk about that stuff and remind people that God's here and He knows all this stuff is happening. He knows what He is doing through all of this. But I also wanted to make this as well to create a place to discuss politics and its impact in life with people who might be interested in politics, or if you're not interested in politics, but like you might be open to hearing about politics, might could turn you to become interested in politics, and also just giving a biblical perspective on politics, not just like opinions on political issues or political affiliations, parties, none of that. So in order to create a place where this gets more and more traction and allow the audience to interact, and then we could have healthy debates on here. And also, put some people's responses, questions, or input on what they have heard from probably an episode or anything on here. I want to bring the biblical perspective, because once you start talking political parties and people's different opinions, people turn a little hard-headed, stubborn. They don't want to hear what the other side has to say. Or especially nowadays, it's very polarized now. So it's kind of just giving the biblical perspective so we have something in common with when talking about these different political topics. Like we have one common thing we look to for guidance during through these issues and stuff. But yeah, but to start off, as these first few episodes, we're probably gonna be talking about some history, so that when we get into this the nitty gritty topics of the day, you have better understanding of how issues shape up the world and how they shape up politics, like different issues like maybe the economy or civil rights or like just any of those issues that transform the political world throughout time. So we better understand how these issues are important, but also understand the magnitude of them in the world. So you better overall understand the politics before we get into right now's politics. Not too much. Not. I know a lot of people don't like history. I think history is boring. So we're not gonna turn this into a history channel, but we're gonna go a little into history just to give an overall understanding of politics a little better for these today's topics we're gonna go over. But yeah, like we might even go into some presidential elections because some presidential elections were pivotal in determining issues in society and politics during those times. So yeah, we're just gonna go on a little bit of history, and we're definitely gonna go into political party history so you understand the stances of different political parties during that time and how they changed over time. So you just get a little better understanding of your own political party if you're from different parties, just better understanding. But yeah, I'm going to be making an email. I think I already made it. But if I haven't, I'm going to be making an email for this podcast so you could email like if you have any questions, any input, or want me to talk about something specific in this podcast, I'm going to leave it. So you can contact me to let me know you want me to talk about something, and I most likely will talk about it because I love politics and I love talking about the different stuff dealing with politics. So just gonna have the email in the description so you can let me know. I love when people interact. It makes it even more fun when more people interact. And I also, for right now, I'll leave my personal Instagram. If you find that easier to send a DM than email, I'll leave my personal Instagram in the description. I haven't made Instagram for this podcast yet. As it get more traction, I will, but I haven't made one yet. But when I do, then you could get me on that. But also my personal Instagram, you could reach DM me on that. That's easier. And you also could see a little bit of my personal life if you follow me on Instagram. Yeah, probably not, but felt like I should mention it just in case some people feel like that's easier than sending an email or whatever. But yeah, like I said, once it gets more traction, a lot of people are interacting with it, and eventually I want to get different people on here sharing their opinions on different topics, or even we could have a little healthy debate, not a debate like trying to fight or something, like a healthy debate, like talking, seeing each other's viewpoints on things. Because I feel like that type of debate helps the mind, sharpen the mind. Because even if it's a different opinion, it could either further your opinion on what you think is right by hearing the other side, but it also can help you determine your own beliefs. Just something like more solidify your beliefs because it's been tried on the other side and your side. So you could try your stuff against the other side and even further cement your belief in that specific thing. So yeah, so that's eventually what I want to do when it gets more traction. I'm definitely going to have some of my immediate family on here eventually, like my parents or siblings, sister and brother, probably, to start off as it gets more traction. But eventually I do want to have some of the listeners on here just talking about this stuff and getting into the politics. But yeah, that's kind of just the plan, what I want to eventually do. Schedule, kind of, right now, it's at least monthly. Right now it's summer, so I'll probably be able to do like twice a month while I'm in summer break. But as I get into college, soccer and school will probably be just like once a month, depending on how much free time I get with homework and soccer practice and stuff like that. Right now, I don't have summer soccer because I'm injured, so I have a little more free time on my hands, so it might be twice a month. And as it gets more traction, it might be even more often if it gets more traction and stuff like that. So that's the schedule for right now. Trying to see if I didn't forget anything. But yeah, hopefully this is a place where it's a freedom to share your opinion on topics. Today's politics, we could learn a lot. We could hear different people's opinions, see what different people think, and hopefully get some more people into politics, but also people that already love politics. It's a place where you could share your opinions and we could talk about and debate them or whatever healthily. Not trying to condemn people and stuff, but healthily debate different political topics. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think for a first episode, something slight, but hopefully I see y'all in the next episode. But if not, I pray that God blesses you. I pray He keeps you safe and continues to remind you that He is with you. And I thank y'all for listening. And I hope the rest of your summer goes well. And I'll see y'all on the next episode.